My name is Clifton Raheem Bradley, and what this short video is going to be about Sanctuary City in Chicago, Illinois in 2025. And you're going to hear the opinions of individuals that are mad, angry, and upset and frustrated, and they bewildered and they don't understand. You know what? And it's just crazy. But you know what? This is affecting Chicago, New York, and California, draining the resources. So I'll give my opinion at the end. Is it your
plan to deport everyone who is here illegally over the next 4 years?
Well, I think you have to do it. And it's a very tough thing to do. You know, you have rules, regulations, laws. They came in illegally. You know, the people that have been treated very unfairly are the people that have been online for 10 years to come into the country. And we're going to make it very easy for people to come in terms of they have to pass the test. They have to be able to tell you what the Statue of Liberty is. They have to tell you a little bit about our country. They have to love.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border, for deporting criminal illegal immigrants, and for putting America first. President Trump has a clear message for those that are in our country illegally. Leave now. If you don't, we will find you, and we will deport you. You will never return. For too long, weak politicians left our borders wide open. They flooded our communities with drugs, human trafficking, and violent criminals. They put American lives at risk. Well, those days are over. If you leave now, you may have an opportunity to return and enjoy our freedom and live the American dream. But understand this. Under President Trump, America's borders are closed to lawbreakers. Follow the law, and you'll find opportunity. Break it, and you'll find consequences. The choice is yours. America welcomes those who respect our laws, because a strong nation is a safe nation.
But how could you come to his rescue when he was up here okay with flooding the black communities in Chicago with illegal immigrants? Taking money from the black communities to give it to illegal immigrants. Now when Brandon Johnson is going to need black people to support him, he's don't have the support. And that's what you black politicians do every single time. You sit up here, you do the bidding of these silly Democrats, and then they leave you out to dry when the other side of white supremacy tries to come attack you. The Democrats don't do nothing but leave you out there high and dry.
Mayor Johnson, how about you? How many, according to my records, you have welcomed 51,648 illegal aliens to your sanctuary city. So I'd ask you, sanctuary from what?
If you're referring to the number of individuals that were bused from Governor Abbott without any coordination, the 52,000 individuals that were seeking asylum, those individuals were bused to us. I passed a bus ordinance to work to coordinate with the governor of Texas. He refused to do that. But that transfer of individuals was the result of the governor of Texas, not the result of a welcoming city ordinance.
Welcoming city ordinance. So you're not welcoming these people that came here illegally?
The individuals that were bused to us from the border.
They were not welcome in Chicago? You didn't welcome them? You didn't provide them sanctuary?
So the welcoming city ordinance is pretty straightforward. It allows for our local law enforcement to focus on local policies, and that's why we're seeing a decline in violence.
So you don't care about federal law enforcement policies, only local policies?
We comply with all laws. What I do care about is this body, Washington, passing comprehensive immigration
So
reform.
let me ask you this. Chicago residents reported 28,443 violent crimes during 2024 alone. Cases of aggravated assault rising to the highest level in 2 decades. Now, also, state funds, $160 million, were issued to illegal alien job assistance shelters in Chicago. You're the mayor of Chicago. Do you think that your residents or the residents of your state should be paying for that more than they should be paying for their own needs, their own roads, their own public safety? I mean, who elected you? The people that came illegally, whether they were sent to you or not, or the people that reside in Chicago? Who elected you? And who do you serve?
The people of Chicago elected me as the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago, and we serve all the residents of the city of Chicago.
Illegal or not, criminal or not, how many of the 662,566 illegal aliens with criminal histories that ICE has reported are now residing in Chicago?
Someone will have to get back with you with that number. I don't keep account
Do you
of.
take immigration information from criminals as they're arrested and processed? Do you take immigration information?
Our local law enforcement focuses on getting all violent individuals
do you
off the
determine
streets
whether
of
they're here
Chicago.
legally, what their immigration status is, as a function of your justice system?
Gentleman's time's expired, but please feel free to answer the question, Mayor.
The Welcome in City ordinance ensures that our local residents communicate and trust local law enforcement to ensure that criminals and crime is being addressed, and that's why violent crime has gone down in the city of Chicago. Thank you very much,
Chair now recognizes
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Mr.
unanimous
Khanna.
request.
Governor signs a series of bills aimed at protecting immigrant families in the state. New bills address everything from MAP grants for undocumented students to banning detention centers. Governor J.B. Pritzker believes the move's necessary to create a firewall against what he calls attacks on immigrants by the Trump administration. Local law enforcement agencies will also no longer be allowed to coordinate with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
A few moments later.
Not enough has been done. There's no doubt about that. And I think that the president needs to do more. The Congress needs to do more. Cities out here that are the target of this political game that Governor Abbott is playing are suffering. And here in Illinois, it's minus 29 degrees outside with the wind chill. We have migrants that arrive from Texas virtually every day, hundreds, and we don't have places to put them. We don't have enough shelter space here.
Well, Rob, that $51 million will hopefully help those migrants leave the police station floors and go into shelters. Well, 34 aldermen voted for the $51 million. It did not come out without a lot of controversy, especially from some black residents who say the money should go towards Chicago residents who have been neglected for years.
Very much committed to a revenue stream or revenue streams that ensure that we are dealing with the crises of those who are unhoused in the city of Chicago, while also making sure that there's room for those that we are welcoming.
We need to allocate some of this money for our black children, for the black community.
$51 million for migrants brought some loud and vocal opposition from the public, to the point where police had to escort people out of the city council meeting several times. Mayor Brandon Johnson asked for a 2-minute breather.
We want to make sure that we can continue to conduct the business of the people.
Since August, over 10,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago. Hundreds are sleeping on police station floors. The $51 million is expected to help house the migrants. But those against spending the money say the city must take care of its black residents, too.
And we have to help the residents of this great city. It's not an either or, it's a both and.
Some black alders who have struggled themselves admit they're conflicted. 49th Ward Alderman Maria Haddon voted yes, but asks community members helping the migrants to help people who live in Chicago.
And everybody that's working hard for this, you've got to show up for black Chicagoans with the same energy. And that does mean money.
The issue is emotional for 20th Ward Alderman Jeanette Taylor. She says while black people have fought for years for a seat at the table, it doesn't mean they shouldn't help others who are also struggling.
When we fought just to drink out of a damn fountain, it was us. But hurt people don't hurt other hurt people.
Taylor's passionate statement received a standing ovation from her colleagues. The vote overwhelmingly passed. The $51 million only lasts through June. City Council Budget Committee Chairman Jason Irvin says the city must come up with a plan.
There does need to be a greater plan, and I think this was always designed to give the incoming administration an opportunity to do that. This is a stopgap measure, pure and simple.
Brandon Johnson is in the process of a press conference right now. You heard him off the top of my piece talk about that he is hoping that he can come up with some type of funding for everybody. It's time to take a deeper dive into the budget, but he has still yet to come out with an overall strategic plan for the migrants.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
Officials tonight said Daly College is an ideal location because it's move-in ready and a fraction of the cost of a hotel. But many in the crowd didn't want to hear it.
When do citizens of the United States of America come first?
On the southwest side, city officials getting an earful.
How about this? Give them all these politicians' addresses and put them in their backyards, in their basements, in their houses.
This meeting at Richard J. Daly College comes as the city, starting as early as this weekend, prepares to use this gymnasium until August 1st and 2 auxiliary classrooms on the campus through the end of November to shelter more than 400 migrants.
This is about being human and providing humane spaces for them.
I serve my country. We need to give these immigrants a chance.
But the debate igniting anger about how the city for decades has treated its poor.
We do not take care of our own people. There's no resources taken from our shelter system and the housing within our shelter system, as well as outreach agencies who are providing services on the street.
This gathering comes a day after the city council at a heated meeting approved $51 million in emergency migrant funding. That money only expected to last through the end of this month.
You speak very much about the money. It's our money. Every dollar you give is our money.
Last weekend, migrants began moving into Wright College on the northwest side. Officials say that's reduced the number of migrants at police stations from more than 800 last week to fewer than 640 now.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness
Westside
News.
homeowners are angry. They believe the city has overextended itself and should be putting the tens of millions of dollars earmarked for migrants into Chicago's most vulnerable neighborhoods.
But the South Side has been under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades. We have schools that need to be reopened. We have buildings that are abandoned that need to be business operated.
The group says the city has abandoned its Invest Southwest initiative, a Lightfoot-era program that was dedicated to reversing decades of disinvestment on Chicago's South and West Sides, promising to align more than $2.2 billion through public and private funding.
We are taxpayers, we're property owners. Our money should go towards fixing our communities.
The city has received more than 15,000 migrants since August 2022.
We have no more room. Y'all are embarrassing Chicago as a whole.
According to analysis by the ABC7 data team, there are more than 20 active migrant shelters across the city, 7 located on the South and West Sides.
Whether it's one shelter or whether it's 10 shelters, we're saying the facilities that are there for us, the money needs to be put into those facilities for us.
In a statement from the mayor's office about the group's concerns and the status of Invest Southwest, a spokesperson says in part, quote, "We are committed to continued investment for all residents, but especially communities on the South and West Sides that have long experienced disinvestment. We are the city of Chicago, and our shoulders are big enough to support both new arrivals and those who have long called this city home."
Mayor Johnson, the black aldermen, the black alderwomen in this city, you will stand for the black citizens of Chicago.
Now, the city says Mayor Johnson knows firsthand the impact of neglect on a vulnerable community and that he will never stop investing in people, all people, and delivering the affordable housing, fully funded schools, safer streets, and living wages that every person deserves in this city. So obviously you're hearing the mayor is saying that the city has big enough shoulders to handle both the South and West Sides, all of the neighborhoods, as well as the new arrivals. But of course, the people you heard from, they believe otherwise, and they're hoping that more attention be focused on the South and West Sides.
One of many layers to the migrant crisis, certainly.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border, for deporting criminal illegal immigrants, and for putting America first. President Trump has a clear message for those that are in our country illegally. Leave now. If you don't, we will find you and we will deport you. You will never return. For too long, weak politicians left our borders wide open. They flooded our communities with drugs, human trafficking, and violent criminals. They put American lives at risk. Well, those days are over. If you leave now, you may have an opportunity to return and enjoy our freedom and live the American dream. But understand this. Under President Trump, America's borders are closed to lawbreakers. Follow the law and you'll find opportunity. Break it and you'll find consequences. The choice is yours. America welcomes those who respect our laws because a strong nation is a safe nation.
I'm in Chicago on 79th Street. And the thing is, 79th and Burham, and what happened is the immigration problem in Chicago, our issue, is really, 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 really out of hand. But I guess one has to take in consideration that people coming from Mexico, they need a place to live, and they're dealing with migrants. They're passing out vouchers for the home. And like I said, we're in the United States in Chicago, and talk to some of the people that live in the community. The vouchers that they're passing out, they're supposed to be utilized. There were only 50 vouchers that were supposed to be out, but the word got out, and the immigrants have come over here to get the vouchers, but you can't really blame them. But there's an immigration problem in Chicago, and like I said, there are people that are really, really mad because there are resources that are being taken from individuals in Chicago that have been homeless for a long time. And you have people wondering, why weren't these resources given to individuals in Chicago before Governor Abbott sent the immigrants to Chicago? And like I said, this is South Shore community. And you know, you had people, everybody Lake Shore Drive. And you had people that are upset. And there are people he's talking in a different language. In Espanol, I don't really understand. And this is what's going on in Chicago. And I'm pretty sure this is not the only locality in the United States that is going on. And listen, there are people in the United States, I would say it's humane to give them a place to live, but there are people that just don't understand why these resources becoming available now. And we've had this issue for years. Don't understand it. And there's people that just don't get it. How you doing, brother? And they just don't get it. I mean, property taxes. This affects this property taxes and other municipalities. People, and they're saying now in Chicago, you can even be a police officer without being a citizen. And there are people that just don't understand that. You know, I think the governor signed that in out of Mayor Chicago. And Chicago was just in shambles. You know, you come to vacation to Chicago, but you really don't know what's going on in Chicago, because you know what happened is you visiting and you have no idea what is really going on. You know, you don't know. Just don't know. And this is a situation that's going to be dealt with in the presidential elections. With Donald Trump, he appears to be leading with the Republicans, Mr. DeSantis, and also Joe Biden. You know, this goes all the way around the block, and beyond Donald Trump and Joe Biden. These are going to be issues that are going to be discussed in the United States of America for years. And, you know, you could take a look back in history and see what we had to deal with, what circumstances we were dealing with in year 2023 and use this for case history. You know, but there are only 3 home vouchers that are 50, that's what the owner said. There are only 50 home vouchers that are being given out. They're opening the doors right now. And this is what immigration has done to Chicago. I'm not talking about Texas. I'm not talking about New York. They have issues. They say charity starts at home. And these resources are being taken. And there are individuals that had all type of issues that went on economically before immigrants came. As I promised that I would give my viewpoint about sanctuary cities and how it affects Chicago, you know, New York and California and other cities. I believe that an individual that wants to come to the country and follow the proper protocol to enter the country, we should welcome them with open arms. So I think that Mayor BRANDAN of Chicago and Governor Pritzker, they're wrong to allocate money, a capital that is supposed to be for citizens of Chicago and Illinois. And most of the time we have a budget deficit, okay, before they make the budget. And I think that's readjustment. And I think that the individuals, African-American people in Chicago, I think that it is legitimate that they would be upset, mad, angry, because you're letting individuals come into the city of Chicago to take the resources that are supposed to be allocated for Chicago citizens. And the thing is, I will go into it deeper if I get the people like this video, but there are other causes that are complex that make people from other countries like Mexico, Central America, and Argentina come to the United States, that the United States has created havoc by taking Mexico, by taking California, Texas by force because of border disputes. What Ronald Reagan did, okay, giving arms to the Contras alleged for drugs. This was wrong. It is wrong to support dictators in that hemisphere on the other side of the border, the United States of America, and cause chaos and occasionally get rid of drug dealers, but you know what, this is very, very complex. And you know what, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, I would like to know if you think that I am wrong. If you think that I am wrong and you believe that people ought to be able to come into the country without no problems whatsoever, and go to these sanctuary cities like in Chicago, New York, and you don't think the people are wrong in the communities to being angry, upset about this, please give me a comment. Give me your comments, because I believe like you should have to follow a protocol. But if I am totally wrong in your opinion, let me know. But I am no fool. I know that the United States government has caused instability within these countries from Central America on down to Argentina and Brazil. I know that. So, if people look at this video, I will talk about some of the instabilities. So if you like this video, the thumbs up, thumbs down. If you don't even think I know what I'm talking about, please let me know. We welcome constructive criticism, and we're always looking for guests to come on our podcast. And, words of Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for watching. This is what your grandfather was doing. Any message for your grandchildren? Great.
Because I happen to have known someone who was in the NSA.
Okay.
All right? And they don't know it, they'll know now. I've been in their building with him. Did you see it?
Yes, sir.
And they...
Some people don't know what NSA is.
National Security Administration. And when I walked up in there, they got video screens. I mean, from here to 35th Street.
Those street cameras, right?
Those are the screens like you watch on a computer.
Right.
All right? They got a room where they listen to conversations all around the country. All right? That's why I can say what I say. But they let me go because he was an important person. And they figured if he was pregnant, it was all right. All right? They made a mistake, but I never forgot that.
Well, wait a minute. Wow.